we're just going to start because nobody is joining us for our broadcast. So welcome to Pros on Cons, where we are in no way professionals, nor do we always talk about cons, but I like the name, so we keep it. I'm Nashville Geek Girl. I'm here with Party Jack.
That's me.
And we're going to talk about Geek Media Expo Volume 6, because we waited for a year.
A whole year.
For it to be GMX. And then it was. So, all my stuff here is like intro Shaun. Shaun's not here.
He's not. He disappeared.
Shaun's not here.
It's really my fault. I didn't let him get any sleep all weekend. I kept waking him up. Because I am the last to get to the room and the first to wake up.
I woke everybody up both times. Although the second time was not my fault. I just really needed pants so I could go get coffee.
Yeah, that is true.
The hotel really likes when you wear pants.
I didn't have any pants on me.
So there's that. Okay, before we get into our reviews of Geek Media Expo, all of my notes are mute right now because nobody
showed up. Isn't it awful? It's all right. We don't need them. It's fine.
We don't need them. We can con
all by ourselves.
Okay, and this is Sonic.
That's Sonic.
He's just hanging out because nobody else would come play with us.
We hung out with Sonic over the weekend. He was a great guy.
We did hang out with Sonic. In reference to Sonic, we mean Matt McGinnis from Straight Outta Comic-Con. If you haven't checked them out, you should. I have a CD from them that cracks me up.
It cracks me up too. It's pretty
funny.
They
do like a Doctor Who's on first, which is hilarious. So that's Straight Outta Comic-Con.
He hosted opening ceremonies and closing ceremonies.
He emceed opening ceremonies and closing, yeah.
And Geek Slam, right? Did he do a little something with Geek Slam?
Yeah, okay. So GMX this year decided to open the Geek Slam to attendees, which previously I think it had been mostly like pre-reg sign-ups, mostly comics and stuff. So it was just attendees, which was really cool because Silent Bob was up there. And
oh my God, one word kill.
Silent Bob.
One word kill.
But the problem being that like in Sonic's case, he got put up against Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, who's Squirrel Girl?
I don't know. But she also had a repertoire of nut jokes, which there's no beating that.
Yeah, you really can't. Not in that crowd. Everybody's drunk, and that stuff's going to kill.
Yeah, not happening. So, all my notes are mute. Just like
throw it out. We don't even need it.
We're going off the cuff.
All right. So, GMX.
GMX is Geek Media Expo. If you haven't heard of it, go to geekmediaexpo.com. I wasn't doing that on purpose. So it was really good. It's so it's not a convention per se. It's an
more
expo.
Of an exposition. Yeah, there you have a lot of variety with that con.
You do. Yeah. You do. They have some of the better panels that I like.
Expo.
I don't go to.
I'm going to call it a con because I call everything a con because I'm a jerk.
Because pros on cons.
That's right.
So yeah, that's a thing that happened was GMX. So oddly enough, I had heard that people started GMXing on Thursday night.
Yeah,
so this is a new thing.
I was shocked. Yeah, people don't usually do that.
It's gonna be like a 5-day thing.
This year it got wild. They were already pre-gaming like a day early.
It's crazy.
I mean, literally, the con didn't start until what was it? 5, I guess, with the comic.
The comic started at 4-ish.
4-ish. So to start Thursday before, some serious.
That's some serious GMX.
That's some serious, yeah.
That's some serious GMX. It was so serious that you can't even.
I can't even think about it partying that early. I was late.
We were partying that early, but we were partying elsewhere with a friend who was in town.
Yeah.
And then so Jack got there at like 10 in the morning.
I was, yeah.
Because I had to go to the airport to pick somebody up.
Right.
Which is Cool Springs Marriott is 30 minutes from the airport, and that sucks.
Yeah, that was a heck of a drive.
It sucks.
That gave me a chance to kind of see the goings on before cons really going. They obviously have the badges ready mostly that early, and people were there. There was tons of people there. People were already cosplaying. You kind of get a chance to mingle and catch up with some of your friends as they trickle in. And that was good for me because that meant I got to see a lot of my friends and a lot of my people that I associate with before the con even really got started, so that when things got really wild, I've already seen everybody.
Keep talking.
Keep talking?
Keep talking. I'm trying to get Shaun in here.
All right. So during that time, I was sitting down with a family that I met last year.
Oh, yeah.
You may know them through their daughter, who cosplays Alice from the video game. And she has the hobby horse that she made herself. And this year she was in the competition with the pepper gun that looks like a warthog head. And she makes the most amazing props. Her whole family gets in on the cosplay, building her costume. Her mom sews. And I was sitting down with them, and Gigi comes over, just walks right over to us. And
Gigi Edgley.
Gigi
by the
Edgley,
way.
yes.
Chiana,
yeah. And
Chiana.
so yeah, I didn't fanboy. I did good. I was good.
I fanboyed later.
Yeah. And
she said hi to me, and I was like, Gigi Edgley's talking to me right now. I don't know what to do.
And I did. Over the weekend, I got several chances to spend time with Gigi.
She's a sweet
and
lady.
she is a sweet lady. She really is. And talented, very talented. And
hey, look, somebody joined us.
Oh, look. Hello, Shaun.
I clicked the button and it just sat there for like 15 minutes and didn't do anything. I was like, okay, are we starting? What's going on?
Yeah, we're live, brother.
Yep. All right, cool.
Don't make notes.
Okay, so we're here now with Shaun Andrews, who is a fellow contributor to Nashville Geek Life, one of the main contributors, and was also our roommate
Yes.
at GMX
Yes.
to his detriment.
Yes. It wasn't that bad. They only woke up at 7 o'clock every day.
Every day.
And what time did I get in every night?
The same time I did, pretty much.
Yeah, which was like 4 a.m., right?
Yeah, it was 4 and 5. I
Yeah,
think.
4 and 5 a.m. So, I mean, I don't sleep at con, if you can't tell. I just don't, because I might miss something that I want to do or somebody that I need to meet.
I'm just a grumpy morning person, so it was just it didn't really bother me so much as just the joking around about it. But yeah, it was 7 o'clock in the morning every day, just so everybody knows. If you want to sleep in, do not room with these two.
No. No, because there are things to do. I have GMXing to do. So we were talking about Friday. Jack got there super early, and I was at the airport picking up a friend, and he was like, I already met Gigi.
I texted her and told her, and she was like, I hate you. And I'm like, I know.
I think I called you a son of a bitch.
Yeah, you may have. I can check my text log, but later.
And Shaun didn't get there until it was during opening ceremonies, right?
Yes, like right at opening ceremonies, because I got stuck at work for an extra hour and a half on Friday.
Work is
Not bitter.
I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter at all. Okay, so we talked about Gigi was there. I fangirled real hard. I was getting off the elevator, and Greg Grunberg was just like standing there, and nobody was paying him any attention. Like he was just there.
He was just there.
So
he
I
kind of
walked
looks
by.
like one of us, right?
Yeah. So I walked. He's really tall.
He is tall.
So I walked by, and then I backed up, and I was just like, "You're that guy." He was like, "I am that guy," and I was like, "Oh my God, it's Greg." And I was just like, "I have to go."
I have a similar story. I ran into him at the elevator as well, and I just looked at him, and I went to go say something to him like I'd known him forever, because that was the kind of feeling I had, was like I feel like I've known this guy forever, and then it occurred to me, you don't know him.
You know the
character from Heroes, and
the
it was
same
such a
thing.
personable guy. So we're standing there waiting with the elevator, so I thought, you know what, he's going to get a kick out of this. So I'm going to tell him what just happened to me. And he really did. He thought it was. He said he thought it was kind of a funny story, and he appreciated that his character was so relatable that it made me feel that way.
Also, on the elevator, I rode the elevator down with Greg Grunberg. Just me, Greg Grunberg, and his handler.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a little strange. But he, like you said, he was just the nicest guy. He also
really is.
tall, and he feels like one of us. I heard a story of he was trying to go to his autograph table, and the people that were watching the door for badges like stopped him. He was like, "Excuse me, what are you doing?"
I was going to mention that story too.
Yeah.
So I was going to mention that story because it was actually funny to me because a friend of mine, somebody told me like that the volunteers were saying that Greg was kind of a jerk because he gave them attitude when they asked for his pass to get into like the dealer hall.
He's the VIP.
When they asked for Greg's pass to get in the dealer hall at the con he's a guest of.
Yeah,
He's not just a guest. He's one of the major VIPs.
Yeah.
I would say probably after the cancellation of Garrett Wong and Ron Glass, he was probably the #1 guest.
Yeah.
Arguably, yeah.
Hey, look, Mack's
even
here.
arguably with them. Yeah.
Well, let's introduce Mac.
Let's introduce Mac. Hi, Mac.
Howdy, folks.
Mac's with Nerdville, Tennessee, right?
I am. We actually just finished recording an episode that'll be going up tomorrow, and I'm glad to be here.
Excellent. Well, we're glad to have you. Jack and I were just sitting here, like, just talking about
Riffing.
the con, and he was like, "Why aren't we recording this? We're hilarious." I was like, "Just nobody cares."
Nobody cares what we have to say, right?
Well, that's what I do weekly. I mean, it's the two of us just bullshitting about nerd topics in Middle Tennessee. So, I mean, yeah, that's hilarious. That's amazing.
I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do like a con stories.
Oh, good. And I was going to mention that same Greg Grunberg thing because the staff had obviously no idea, or the volunteers had obviously no idea who he was.
Which I don't understand. Like, even if you don't watch TV and you never watched, Heroes or what was the other thing he was on?
He was
Lost.
on Alias.
Even if he's on your website, like his face is
Yeah,
all over your website, you should know what the guests look like.
Check the guest, familiarize yourself, like. And I don't understand, like, first of all, the volunteers are probably nerdy. They probably know these people.
You would think, yeah.
You'd hope. I don't know why you're volunteering at GMX if you're not nerdy, because you're going to be surrounded by cosplay for the next 3 days.
Yeah, and there's the whole thing that they're volunteers, and I was walking around with Matt McGinnis, who emceed, and I was like, not to say anything, but it's not like it's you. Like you're just one of the comics or anything like that. It's freaking Greg Grunberg. He doesn't need a pass.
Like, people know who he is. Seriously. And I personally met every one of the guests at one point in the weekend or the other on a personal level.
I was really excited. I got an elevator and I was like, Lee, what the hell is his last name?
Arnenberg.
Lee Arnberg flirted with me, and everybody was like, "Yeah, me too." I was like, "Damn it!"
Lee Arnberg
I had something special.
I actually ended up walking out of the restroom when he was coming in, and I was in my Jubilee costume with the lights in my hand, and he just stopped and he looked and he goes, "That is dope as shit."
He was a cool cat, right?
Yes.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was very cool.
I think that's the correct reaction to, like, everything that's happening at GMX.
It is. It is. All right, well, now I can get my
Now
notes.
we can get the notes. We
I
threw
threw
them
my
out because you
notes.
guys weren't here, and now she's got to find them because she threw them.
I rage quit.
She rage
I
quit the
rage
notes.
quit my notes. All right.
All right. I don't know where we're at.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Throw them away. We don't even need them.
Okay, so basically the idea of pros on cons is that you get not one, not two, but more than that. In this case, 4 people's
Con experience.
Because not everybody cons the same. Not everybody goes to conventions for the same reason. So I go for the social aspect. I go for the networking. I like to learn something new. I like to see my friends, and I like a party scene. Jack.
I like the party scene primarily. That's my favorite thing. I like to get out and meet people. I do like socializing and networking. I like hands-on panels. If I'm in a panel that's going to teach me something and I can get my hands on it, I'm probably going to go to that panel. Like the Creature Workshop. It's something I like doing.
Your team won.
Yeah, we won the Creature Workshop. There were 3 winners. There's actually 3 winners. And I would say from basically what I could tell, all the prizes were pretty much equal. that felt really good. You know, we spent an hour in there. We built some cute little creatures out of basically odds and end craft supplies that were dumped in a bag, and we dumped them all out on the table, and they said, okay, come up with something. And so that's what we did, and I really enjoyed myself. Even if I hadn't won prizes, I had a good time overall doing that,
Yeah.
and I made some friends out of it too, so that's always good.
All right, and Shaun, how do you con? What is the big draw to a con for you?
Early, when I first started going to cons, it was mostly panels. I've stopped going to quite as many panels. I typically go for more of the social and networking aspect now. There are lots of people that I don't get to see except at cons. It's starting to spread out to a little bit more. I see you, both you, Nashville Geek Girl and Jack, on a more regular basis now. It used to be once or twice a year, and now it's every month or so, which is awesome. Everybody. But and I do the party scene a little bit. Last year I GMX way too hard.
Way too hard.
You did good this year.
Relatively hard. But yeah, it's just I like being around people who like the same things that I do, and it's just difficult to find that outside of a con sometimes.
Yeah. All right, and Mac, this is the first con that we have joined you at. This is the first con that we have really hung out at together. What do you con for?
I think Shaun hit on a really good point there, which is that you're there to find your tribe. It's really it's a moment where you realize that everybody's sort of into something or another that you're going to be into. I know that I started my geekdom at a time when cons were like 400 people in a basement, and now I went to New York Comic Con, and that's 151,000 people, and it becomes this sort of euphoria moment where you realize that everyone's sort of there for the same reason, that they're there to revel in their geek passions, and they're there to sort of make it one giant geek party. So I was really happy with GMX for that, in that there was a lot of people I like. It was sort of a smaller scale deal, and I am an old person, so I did not stay for a lot of the major parties, but I heard, as the kids say, stuff got cray after a certain moment. I think that it's incredible to see sort of this sort of, I think there's a stereotype of the nerd or the geek as a sort of the antisocial, awkward loner, and what you see at cons is that we are more intensely social than your usual normal person, that even the celebrities get into it, that you'll have people mixing and mingling and sort of being together in a way that you don't often see, and that's what makes cons so deliciously euphoric for me, that makes it really something I want to be a part of, something I will go to 3 cons in 4 weeks for, and I'm surprised I haven't slept for a week after GMX.
I'm surprised that you haven't slept for a week.
Like Mac just said, the celebrities, the guests like to get into it too. GMX is a really good con for this because there are some higher level celebrities, and then some lower. It's there's, I guess you could say there's tiers, but it's definitely a con where the panelists and the people, you will see them out and about. I can now officially say that I've partied with an adult film star.
Yeah, Tanya.
She's a
cosplayer, Shaun. She's a cosplayer.
And I'm the King of England.
She's very sweet, actually, though. Tanya Tate is a doll.
She is wonderful. She is wonderful, but let's call it what it is.
A crumpet is a crumpet is a crumpet.
Exactly. And she's one hell of a crumpet.
So let's talk about the guests just a little bit. So we talked about Greg Grunberg, who's adorable. We talked about Lee, who was flirtatious.
And a good partier, too.
Mr. Gibbs was there. McNally.
Kevin McNally. Really engaging in interviews, and sort of the old school BBC circuit. Very cool to talk to, very cool guy. And it was great to sort of delve into his earlier work with him. because we'll know him as Mr. Gibbs, but I was always a big fan of I, Claudius, and it was funny to talk to him about something that happened 40 years ago, and he still had these vivid, sort of great stories about it.
He was great because, like, where Lee was flirting with everybody in the elevator and doing his Hello Poppet voice, Kevin was just, like, the consummate gentleman the whole time, just completely inflappable and dapper.
Can we talk about his moment in the opening ceremonies where he asked everybody but Tanya to take a step to the left so we could get right next to her?
That was brilliant.
That was brilliant.
Teal Shearer, who we love, from My Gimpy Life, she was there. She's always there. She's a good staple at GMX.
Yeah, and a lovely lady. She really is just a sweetheart.
Yeah. What else, guys? Who else was there?
Martin Kleba from the Pirates of the Caribbean films.
Yes, I didn't see him like at all. I saw him for 2 seconds in the green room, and that was about it.
I actually saw him when he got there, got out of his limo, and then I met him and actually got to talk to him riding the elevator. Those elevators are wonderful, right? He's just very real if you speak to him. Because I was talking to him, and I was like, man, you do all these great stunts for these films. You're in all these movies. I was like, it's got to be just really cool to be all in that. And he just kind of went, eh. And I was like, so what? Is it just about the money? And he's like, you got to get paid, man. I was just like, real?
He's a guy. Who else was there? There was so many people. The thing that I love about GMX, like Shaun said, like they're just there. You can't go to, I don't know of any other con that you can go to and actually hang out with
and have a personal experience. I mean, you can meet a guest stand in line for 3 hours and wait to meet a guest and get like 5 seconds of their time for them to shake your hand, sign a page, and take a picture, and you're gone, maybe. But you don't get a personal experience with that person to where you can go, hey, man, you know what? You touched my life. And what you've done on film or whatever you do has inspired me in my life to do something great. So I think that experience alone is worth the price of admission for GMX.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's talk about GMX's badge price being about half of what a normal con is now, which is great.
That's true.
GMX, and the thing is GMX is so much entertainment for your buck too. I mean, like, you're gonna pay less for another than you would to go. You're gonna pay less to go to GMX than you would to go to another con, and you're gonna get way more entertainment value out of that badge than you are at other cons.
I mean, unless you go to one of the major three. If you go to San Diego Dragon Con or New York, you're gonna basically, it's gonna be tougher to really enjoy yourself as much as you're gonna go to GMX.
And we're trying to compare apples to apples here. Obviously, we're not putting GMX against Dragon Con.
No, well, and I do mostly local cons anyway. And I just mean, like, as far as there's no holes in programming. If you want to go do something, there's something going on.
So, like you just said, comparing it to a big Dragon New York, San Diego, yeah, that doesn't really work. But compare it to a Wizard World, Nashville Wizard World.
There's no
comparison. It stomps it because
3 times as much, and doors open at 9, doors close at 7, you're done, and that's Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
Exactly.
And GMX, they say 48 hours of cool. It's a lot more than 48 hours.
Because some people manage to stay up all that time, and I couldn't even make it to kilt blowing, let alone the burlesque or whatever else naughty fun happened behind closed doors. I don't even know what was going on after a while there.
I love kilt blowing way too much. It's like, I get excited. I have like the little alarm that goes off on my guidebook, and it's like I was talking to somebody. I'm in the middle of talking to somebody, and my little thing goes off, and I was like, oh, what's happening right now that I'm probably going to ignore because that's what I do. And I was like, kilt blowing, and I just left the conversation.
That happened.
Try to keep up.
Yeah, that kind of happened to me too. I was in a room party with several people that I knew, and I was just socializing, talking to different people, and I turned around and several people were gone, and I had no idea where they were. And I went downstairs a little bit later, and half of them were on stage, and half of them were in the audience. And I was like, "Oh, this is going on."
It's a very important thing. It is. That's another thing I want to talk about was the room parties, because the room parties at GMX are pretty dang amazing.
And this year was no exception. In years past, we have had the room parties get shut down, but everything ran perfectly smooth this year with the room parties going on both days. Friday night, which is usually the slow night with the room parties.
That was MTAC. MTAC had the main suite.
MTAC had the main suite and the most delicious ice cream float I have ever drank in my life.
Oh, was it the milkshakes?
Yes, it was like a milkshake, and they had chocolate syrup sitting there, and I'm just like, yes, I want freaking ice cream. I'm drinking, baby. Let's do this.
That's why they call you Party Jack.
That's why he's Party Jack. Well, I went Saturday night. I had to go to the AkaiCon party because it was pirates.
Well, I'm not done with Friday night. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I'm not sure that you should tell us more about Friday night if you had the milkshake, because I've heard about the milkshake.
They also had a moonshine party.
Well, I thought that was on Saturday
it was Friday night. It was Friday night. It was the moonshine party. They had moonshine jello shooters. They had different flavors of moonshine. In shots, and they were just handing that stuff out, and I'm going to tell you right now, you could get blackout if you weren't careful. So Saturday night, we're going to move on. AkaiCon, pirate party.
The pirate party? The AkaiCon party was so amazing. There was a couple of different DJs, because I know that Devin was DJing it for a while, and then
DJ
I apologize. I apologize. Was it Harsh? Was it Harsh? I apologize to the DJ. That was amazing, by the way. But I don't remember who it was.
They had great bartenders, good selection of what they could make up for you.
And the Party Monster was there.
The Party Monster was there. Groot showed up for a while. I danced with Groot. I still got splinters.
Watching Groot dance was very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be careful dancing with Groot. You get splinters in places you can't mention. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have grinded.
All I know is that the AkaiCon party was apparently so good and was planned to be so good that I was pitched it at the Disney store the week before.
That's pretty epic.
Yeah, that came up in conversation with at the Disney store. They said, you got to go to the AkaiCon party. Its theme is pirates. I pretty much said, well, I'm at Pirate Central already. Space pirates, nautical pirates, Jake and the Neverland pirates. Good Lord. And then I realized it would be too much for a man like me.
The other two parties on Saturday night were the Attack on Titan party, which had very good drinks. That they had.
And everyone dies at the end?
Yeah, pretty much. That's what happened.
That's pretty much what happened. Shaun did.
No. Well, that was Friday night is when I GMX too hard because of the moonshine.
Yeah.
You did fine, though.
You did fine. You really did.
You did fine, but then I had to drag you out for donuts, and that was it.
You ruined me. You just ruined me. But the other party on Saturday night was the Cosplay Collective party, which was the non-alcoholic party. And I talked to the people who were throwing that, and they said, well, we didn't have any because we were told we could do this 2 weeks ago, and we didn't have time or money to throw alcohol together. But I thought it was a really good alternative to what was going on, because I at least stopped at one point in the middle of the night, and I walked into that room and I talked to the lady again, and I said, could I really need some water, and she's like, we have plenty of water. Here you go. It was a perfect little side step from the AkaiCon, the craziness of AkaiCon, and the laid backness of the Attack on Titan party.
That's great. And then there was, because the next night there was two other parties. There was the Horror Hootenanny, and then there was the Retro something.
Retro Rangers, right?
It was their party, right? But it was called Retro something. I'm bad.
I think the Horror Hootenanny was...
I was really drunk. You can't expect me to remember the names of their parties. I did really good for remember the ones I did.
Yeah. The Horror Hootenanny was the Moonshine party, I believe.
Oh.
Yes. Because I wanted to go to that to actually watch a horror movie.
I know.
It had like a movie running in the corner that nobody, like it was just a little tiny room and a little TV in the corner. I was like, oh, okay.
Moonshine.
Let's get drunk. Yeah.
I did want to do a special shout out to the Party Monster though.
Party Monster caught us out in the front of the building.
He was out in the front of the building, and they had their speakers set up, and they were just having a little mini rave out in the front of the hotel.
It was great.
And Batman showed up, and Jesus came out and danced. It was pretty awesome.
Jesus came everywhere this weekend. Jesus was everywhere this weekend. Literally everywhere I went, Jesus was
Drunk Jesus gets down. I'll tell you right now. I'm gonna partner up with him one day, man. I'll tell you that right now. We're gonna do some damage.
Now, but let's not gloss over the con that was Friday night, because Friday night was kind of
weird.
A flustercluck.
Weird. Everybody knows what we're talking about.
So there was drink Nazis down at the bottom of the elevator that would sniff your drink and not let you in. People were not happy, because I gotta say that I talk GMX up at every convention that I go to, and there were at least half a dozen people there.
And
that
even
were
out
there,
in public, just to regular people.
that were there, yeah. That were there because I had talked it up. I had sold it. And they were texting me Friday night like, what is this? What's happening? Why are there drink Nazis? Why are they sniffing my drink? Why can't I go outside to smoke? I had friends on the 7th floor who had a older couple across the hall from them who were not affiliated with the convention at all, tried to go down to the pool, and staff stopped them to sniff their drinks.
Yeah, they're not even with the con. You can't mess with regular.
So Friday night was a bit of a craziness. I know
all
that
I
that
can
was
say is I'm glad we're moving venues.
Exactly, because I know that that was the hotel. The majority of that was because of the hotel. So they'll be moving venues, and it's a beautiful venue. The Sheraton
God.
First of all, directly across from the airport, so that 30-minute drive to pick people up is not happening.
Second of all, if you've seen that courtyard, that is the perfect party block, guys. I'm telling you, every one of them has an opening door at the bottom. Room parties all out in the courtyard.
So beautiful.
It'll be great. If they don't do that, then they're missing an opportunity, because that place is the perfect
We can check
place.
it out at MTAC, because MTAC is also going to be there.
Well, I think we can check it out a little sooner than that too. I believe that there's a winter event.
Is the winter?
The winter events Facebook page says it's still in Franklin.
Okay.
All right.
I keep wanting to call it the winter social.
Because I know that they had
Brianna calls it the
I knew that they,
not.
yeah, and I don't know what they're doing, but you know, like I said, I know that they're doing a winter event, and I know that it was mentioned that they kind of wanted to do it at the Sheraton so that people could get a chance to check out the venue.
Let me take that back. It is at 777 McGavick Pike.
Oh.
Maybe the Sheraton. I'm not sure.
It could be.
That'd be the Sheraton.
Is it?
Yay!
Pay attention sometimes.
Good job, Shaun.
So what you're saying is we need to start lining up guests like yesterday for next year's GMX, so we can have a giant blowout, amazing number of guests at this fantastic new venue?
Yes, absolutely. It's going to be beautiful.
I know that...
I vote for Hook.
I know we talked about guests already, but we kind of skipped over real quick. But Gigi Edgley, I know all the staff, every staff that I talked to said we want her back next year.
She's a sweetheart.
We talked a little bit about Gigi before you got here, and
that's all he's been talking about.
Yeah, I had a great time. The thing is at GMX, the guests will actually come down to the party block and party with you. Gigi was down there. And I'm terrible with people's real names because I know them from their film names, and I do this thing that's horrible, but totally partying with Grumpy.
Grumpy.
Totally partying with Grumpy, which is Lee.
With Lee.
Yeah. And so they were down there, and them people can party.
All I heard about was the story about how Gigi and Lee got drunk, and Lee tried to stick his tongue down Gigi's throat, which I think is just he GMX'd exactly correctly.
Yeah, he GG right.
Gigi what do you expect?
He GMX'd right.
Oh man, it's.
I'm sorry, Shaun, but you were talking.
They still here, or did they fall out too?
I don't know. I got total silence on my line, and I still see them here, but.
Yeah, I see them there, but I don't see a connection. We'll we talked about Gigi before we had a chance to. She was a total sweetheart. I saw her at Dragon Con last year, so I was just excited to see her at this year.
She gets into the spirit of cons. She really does.
Nashville Geek Girl is in here twice now. Fancy.
Oh, look at that.
They're back.
I don't want to talk about it.
We stopped for a break with our sponsors,
Which is not Comcast, by the way.
which is not Comcast. Ever.
Google Fiber, hurry it up.
Yes, please.
Please.
Google, send us your love.
What were we talking about? I rage
We were
quit
talking
everything.
about what Sean was talking about.
We're talking about Gigi Edgley.
Yeah, well, that's what we were talking about.
About Gigi.
Oh, I had a huge crush on Gigi Edgley when she was Chiana on Farscape. The biggest crush.
Yeah, everybody did.
Who knew powder blue would be so alluring?
It worked.
There we go. There we go. Now we're back. GMX guests are really amazing.
They always
really a bright
take very,
spot.
very nice, friendly, open people that you can come up and talk to, and they're not too full of themselves.
We miss Robert Schwab.
Rob Traub. Yeah.
That's an exciting guest that I was super excited about.
Yeah.
As I said on Nerdville earlier tonight, this weekend made me realize that Dungeons and Dragons is Excel for fun people.
For fun people.
For fun people, I like that.
Great.
That's about right, yeah.
It's so much math, and you can tell like he's debuting this new game, and I'm like, this is I am a relative simpleton when it comes to this sort of thing, and I was looking at being like, that would be fun if I knew what the hell was going on.
I didn't get to sit in on Celebrity D&D. A friend of mine peeked in on that, but I was doing something else.
What we really need to do is get members of the cast of Lord of the Rings to GMX so we can get them to Celebrity D&D and get them to the Green Dragon in Murfreesboro.
Dot, are you listening? Did you hear that? Do that.
Yeah. Can we get Sean Bean here to get him into the Green Dragon? Maybe Sean Astin was supposed to be at Wizard World Nashville and just disappeared from the lineup. Ideas, Zot.
I would give anything to go drinking with Sean Bean.
Just
And there would be no survivors.
No, there would not. No, we know from experience that when one drinks with Sean Bean, you either get drunk or you die.
I want to try this.
All right, so
That was
that
my
was guests.
wife and the guests.
Did anybody do panels? I did a couple of different panels, which I don't usually do, but GMX has some really good panels.
They have a good variety.
We had a panel. All of
Yeah,
us were in a panel.
We were all on the panel.
I think that panel we did was awesome.
I think the panel we did was awesome too.
It was like herding cats. We just started yelling at cosplayers to come in and show us their cosplay because we were stuck. I was like, we're stuck in this lame-ass panel. Come in here.
Hey, Groot came to that too.
Yeah, he did. I
got some
yelling.
fantastic Groot photos.
Yeah. I had to start yelling at people because this girl that I think she won the costume contest last year, who was making armor out of magic cards. I had literally spent like 30 minutes before our panel trying to find her to get a picture of her. And then I was like, I gotta go to the panel. And then we're sitting there and she walked by and I was like, no, this is not happening. She is here taking pictures.
She had a hell of a costume. That was some work.
That's another thing is, GMX is
It's a cosplay con.
Well, that $1,000 cosplay contest
It's
really
gonna draw
draws
some
out
attention.
the best and the brightest,
Galactic Cat's Brienne of Tarth was, it deserved that
Oh,
place.
that's who that. I knew I recognized her. I saw that. She looked amazing. I got a picture of it.
Yeah. She looked exactly like, and I'm blanking on the name right now.
Gwendolyn Christie.
The actor. Yes. I was going like Genevieve. No, Gwendolyn Christie. In the face was impeccable. It was just a phenomenal cosplay.
It was.
There was also some gorgeous gender-bend X-Men that were there. I don't know if you saw them.
Yes, it was funny. I saw them. They were okay.
They're all right.
I'm super disappointed. I've only seen one picture of us uploaded so far.
I know. Well,
I know.
there's going to be more.
Yeah. I know
We've
that
got some coming to the Nerdville page. So
That was fun. We should do that again. all the time. We should just go to Kroger like that, Shaun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have friends in New York asking how you got the Gambit together, so it's spreading far and wide already.
Yay! I guess we were talking about it before, and I was like, I got recognized 3 times as Nashville Geek Girl at this convention. And not only that, but my friend from McKayCon, the cow.
The cow.
The cow. He was like, I watch Pros on Cons all the time. And I was like, that's really nice. Like, there's like 3 episodes, but I appreciate that.
There were people in cosplay of shows that lasted shorter than that. So.
That's true.
Like,
All right,
there ain't that much Firefly. So.
Oh, it's too soon, man. It's too soon.
It'll always be too soon to Firefly fans.
I've got a really funny story about my Jane costume.
Go.
Because I think I told you two this already in the room, but it was the panel that was they're going to flash a movie title on the screen and you describe it as accurately or as funny as you can in 10 seconds. And I walked into that panel like right after the second round was finishing, so I got in line to do the third round, and I made it to the final 2, and I was in my Jane costume. I was completely just flat out in my Jane costume, and the girl that I was competing against for the last spot, she got Die Hard, which she could not get, and she was berated mercilessly by the rest of the room. And then I walked up for my turn, and Serenity popped up.
Yeah.
Thing.
Rigged.
Yeah, I know. I stopped and I was like, do I really have to say anything?
Can I just point?
Just say something. Yeah, and I was like, Miranda and Reapers.
Oh, I wish you would have said I'll be in my bunk. That would have been perfect.
I mean, Die Hard's easy. Hudson Hawk drops Professor Snape off a building.
Yeah. I got Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, so I got to do the spoiler alert.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Spoiler alert, it's 2.5 hours long, and you have to explain to your mom what just happened on the car ride home.
That's the best.
So panels. that was a panel.
There was a lot of panels. I also joined Kat for a cosplay community panel, which was a really nice round table. I like those where it's not just some people sitting up talking at the audience, but it's an interactive with the audience. I always like those.
Yeah, it was really a
Did
good
you go to any
discussion.
panels? Besides the ones we ran?
Besides the ones that we went to, I did do the Creature Workshop, which is kind of a competition panel.
More of an event.
I don't know how to put it. So that was fun. Other than that, no. I didn't see anything that really just caught my eye as something that I just had to be at, other than those few things.
Shaun, did you do any panels?
Other than the movie thing was a competition panel, kind of like the creature thing. I poked my head into the Not Quite Karaoke panel, and I stayed for a couple of seconds because it was just the panelists putting lyrics on the screen and the entire room singing. It's like, this is all right, but this isn't what I was hoping for. I'm going to drink more now.
Well, I did pop into the Kink 101 panel for a few minutes.
Did you? I didn't go because it was during the Geek Slam.
It was during the Geek Slam, and I knew you had the Geek Slam, so I went ahead and thought, well, I'm going to do something else. The cool thing about the Kink 101 panel, it is an 18-up panel. It is about kinky stuff, and they do talk about safety and consensual play, and they gave out free toys from Hustler.
That's where you got your paddle from.
That's where that came from.
That's where the paddle came
Jeff
from.
just kept showing up with free stuff. Like, every time I would turn around, he'd be like, here, I got more free stuff. It's like, what are you doing?
I pretty much ate free almost all weekend, too.
All I did was eat all weekend.
Like, everybody wants to feed me. Thank you, everyone who fed me. I love you. Please continue to feed me, because it keeps me partying harder.
If you feed him, he'll never go away.
If you feed him after midnight, you have like 90 party jacks around, and it's going to be really
Let's not do that. I can't take that.
That would be one sexy party.
Did you go to any other panels, Shaun?
No, I didn't. It's the same thing that Jack just said. I was I saw a few things that if I happened to be free when they were there, I would have went to, but nothing caught my eye, and I said I really have to go to this.
What about you, Mac? Did you hit any panels while you were there?
I ended up at Gigi's Q&A, which was actually a much smaller event than I expected. She sort of got everyone into a circle. It felt sort of like a very interesting college seminar. She's incredibly engaging. She showed that during the press events as well. And I got to ask about some of her stage work. She had done one of the Australian productions of Sarah Kane's 448 Psychosis, which is basically a suicide note on stage. One of the scarier pieces I've ever been drawn to in theater, and it was just fantastic to get her to finally sort of open up about what it's like to do something that's that so far afield from sci-fi, fantasy, something that is just the bare human condition laid bare. God, that was repetitive. But yeah, the Q&A was pretty much all I hit, other than our panel. There was too much I was in the press room for a lot of it, and there was just too much happening on the dealer floor and in Artist Alley to really, hit anything else. As much as I wanted to see sort of everything, I had the listing on Guidebook that was popping up every 20 minutes with something else I wanted to do. But they really do pack a lot into that small space.
They really do. That's another thing that I want to talk about is the dealer room. I've been to bigger dealer rooms. But the problem is when you do a big dealer room, you turn into a dealer con. So...
Or it can. It doesn't have to, but it does tend to happen from my experience.
And I thought the layout was really good. I know a couple of people weren't fond of the layout. But I thought that it was pretty open, whereas a lot of times you end up stuck in like a bottleneck with people and you can't get by.
The artist alley in years past has been a little bit.
Artist alley was out in the hallway.
Right, but I'm saying that I kind of clumped that in a little bit because of the way it works. But a lot of people were talking about the artist alley being out in the hallway and going, there was plenty of room in the dealer room to do that. But people need to understand that.
Are they gone again?
The silent treatment, halfway through a sentence.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Excellent. I actually have a couple things to say about the dealer room, but I guess I'll just wait until they get back because...
Yeah, I probably should too. Hey, everybody, this is...
This is super awesome. I will say I did really enjoy this. The panel that we were on together was the first panel I've ever done. So I wasn't really sure if we were going to be answering a lot of questions or just talking, so I didn't do a lot of preparation for it. But I know that we got a very good response during and after, including someone who came up to Kat being very emotional about just the local community and about how they made it feel like they could reach out and make friends and do what they wanted to do. And that was a case of, that one person made the whole thing a success.
Oh, absolutely. And, we are going to miss Kat. I'll tell you that much. Like, I think we have an incredibly strong community, but we're going to miss her doing the videos and everything.
Yeah.
Also, she has way more energy than I do.
Oh, Kat has way more energy than anybody I've ever met.
Okay. Point taken. Yeah. Are we back? Do we have...
Hi,
I see two geek girls at once. This is...
I just thought it'd be nice to have two of me. That'd be good.
I don't think the world can handle it.
All right, so I guess, is there any other... I guess we've hit on all the pros. Everybody's... The good things that everybody really liked.
Pretty much.
Like I said, I think Friday night was kind of a big con, but I didn't see any of that Saturday night. So
so whatever happened Friday night was cleared up Saturday.
Actually, I'd like to just take a quick flip of the dealer room and the artist alley to talk about a con here. I've spoken to some artists who say they won't be back to GMX because of the way the artist alley is lined up. I think it makes it very difficult for artists because they're sort of crowding the space, and also they can't really leave their stuff. Like, they can never take a break from the table, especially if they're working alone. And I think that there are ways to change that. Like, if we can get 2 rooms, one for the dealers, one for the artists, I think that would work out really well. But I felt like the only time I got stuck in a bottleneck, the only time I felt like I was seeing anybody sort of getting the short shrift of GMX was when I was out in that hallway that served as Artist Alley.
Yeah. I would say my biggest con would probably actually have been the dealer room. And not necessarily the layout, but just in general, I didn't feel like there was a lot of variety. I didn't feel like there was, and this isn't necessarily a convention con. This is just the way it ended up being. This was the first convention where I didn't buy anything. I didn't see anything that I felt that really jumped out at me. I did think that the Artist Alley, even though it was not necessarily in the best place and was a little crowded, I thought the Artist Alley was very well populated. It had more variety than, say, the dealer room. And there was there was somebody out in the Artist Alley. There was a Toy Mania. That why were they not in the dealer room? Why were they?
And they broke down early and did not come back for Sunday. So.
Yes, I actually, when they were breaking down, because I looked through their stuff a little bit, and it's like, are you guys coming back tomorrow? And he was very terse. No, we are not.
I mean, they got to find some way to work around that. It's I think it's a problem in that they were sort of everyone in the Art Alley I felt was sort of getting passed by in favor of the dealer room, or sort of like being breezed by on everybody else's way to a panel.
Well, and especially that one part of the Artist Alley in that hotel that's actually like way down a dead-end hallway that nobody even goes down it, because I know a Kayakon was stuck down there. And I looked for them forever before I could find them.
Yeah, I didn't see them. I just thought they didn't have a booth.
They did. It was just in that weird, because year before last, our friends from Conuga were stuck down that little hallway. Like, it was just... One of the good things that I really liked about a Kayakon was that the dealer room and Artist Alley were mixed up. So at points where I probably would have just passed a table because it was in Artist Alley and I was looking for something, specific to buy, I found something else that I didn't know I was looking for, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's maybe an idea, is just to mix the two together. Stop trying to split them up. And stop crowding that hallway.
Well, the thing is now that they're changing venues, that problem may fix itself.
Maybe.
And so waiting to see what we have next year with the new venue, how they work that space, we may be very pleasantly surprised with what they do with their dealer space.
But if there's anything I've seen from cons that move spaces, it's that the same problems manifest themselves despite the change in venue. Big Apple Con changed venues 3 times while I was going to it, and they had the same problems every single time. No matter what the layout was. They changed from a place with 5 floors to 1. They still managed to have the same problem. So I think laying it bare and sort of saying, like, this is the problem and it needs to be fixed is a very important thing when planning the next con, because otherwise it just sort of happens again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One other real good pro about GMX is loss prevention. The loss prevention people, with maybe the exception of 1 or 2 people, are really great and amazing and helpful. Spider was there, and I love Spider. Spider is wonderful and amazing, and he always makes sure that I'm taken care of and I'm safe and I'm happy and I'm peace-tied because I'm dangerous.
And it's not just
It's not, and he always puts it to people nicely. He's always like, "I need to peace tie that, just to show that I've seen it," Whereas there's other ones on loss prevention that'll be like, "That has to go through me," and it's like, that's unnecessary.
Yeah.
Did anyone else like the Dalek was wearing a loss prevention tag?
I love that the Dalek's little egg beater is always like peace tied. Because he's dangerous.
Trust me, I know.
I also want to give an extra shout-out to another loss prevention person, which is Corey, who stopped me on Saturday to make sure that I was okay, simply because he hadn't seen me as much as he normally does. And maybe had seen, sort of an incident that happened on the 4th floor. So Corey stopped to make sure that everything was okay. So I feel like even without having to bring stuff to their attention,
They're watching.
They're watching. Because we did have an incident where a friend had to bring something to their attention, and they handled that really well too. So loss prevention at GMX is
honestly,
top notch.
Honestly, when it comes to loss prevention and safety, how they handled things this weekend, obviously the con security had to do what the hotel security was telling them they had to do, and unfortunately, that caused some bad decision making on Friday night. And I saw some things from the head of the hotel security that really upset me, and quite honestly, I hope somebody in the high up in the hotel chain here's what they need to hear to straighten him out and get him on a leach, because he was
again moving
out of control.
venues.
And moving venues is going to fix that for this con.
Not our problem.
What'd you say, Mac? I missed it.
I just said not our problem anymore. I think.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord. There's no reason to think about this venue anymore because we're moving.
Well, it's really sad though because GMX was my first con. I've been to 3 now. 3?
You've been to more than 3 cons, but
I've been to 3
GMXs.
GMXs. And I know that my first GMX, the hotel manager, every time he saw me, handed me like a free coffee card. Like, I'm pretty sure I married that guy that weekend. Like, I was just like, this is amazing. So, and then last year, I really felt like they were really excited. The hotel manager was there again, the same one, and there was the bellhop guy that was outside.
What was his
name?
Chico?
Amazing.
Was that it? Was it Chico? Do you remember? Anybody remember?
Nobody remembers, but he was amazing.
Oh, I feel terrible.
And then this year there was just nothing. It was all very like.
I think the only person I seen that was really excited was the bellman. Honestly, when he was friendly and nice, but the hotel staff was scarce.
I can to at least the hotel restaurant. I ate there Saturday night with one other person, and we were waiting. We didn't wait very long, but he was that manager came out and he's like, "Oh no, I'm going to get you taken care of right away. I need." He's like, "I want you to." He's like, "You sit here." He found us, made us a spot, and he was very helpful. And this is the hotel restaurant, not full hotel staff, so it might be different things.
Yeah.
But he was very, very friendly, very helpful, very cheery. But in general, like you've said, I didn't see as many other hotel staff around in general.
Yeah, I didn't eat in the hotel cafeteria.
This isn't school, baby.
I'm in school. I didn't eat in the hotel restaurant this time. I ate there last time, and it was just really sort of high-end. It was expensive for me. But one good thing about that venue was that we walked across the street. Sonic and I walked across the street like 2 or 3 times that weekend and ate at a different place each time. So there was some variety. And I hope that there is at the Sheraton too, but I imagine there is. It's right there.
Right there in the middle of everything. So I imagine there's things within walking distance. And walking distance from a con for food, I think that's key.
Who wants to give up your
parking spot? Yeah, that's awful. So,
what else? Oh, I wanted to give a shout out to Fairy Tale Podcast again. We met them at a KaiCon, and they've become good friends of ours, and a lot of them were there. I talked to Natsu, and I got to talk to Mira Jane.
I saw Elfman.
And we saw Elfman was there, and so they're sweet, and we love them. I think that's all the shout-outs. Do you guys have any shout-outs from GMX that you want to say hi to anybody or give props or anything?
I mentioned the Cosplay Collective Room Party. They're apparently a really new group in the area, but they were super friendly, very helpful is a weird term to say for a room party, but they were super friendly, easy to get along with. We passed business cards back and forth. They talked with Brianna, and just about cross-promotion in general. So that's just a new group that had a great event. So shout out to Cosplay Collective.
Like them on Facebook.
Yes.
Absolutely. What about
And
you,
also
Matt?
Nerdville. You should like Nerdville on
Yes,
Facebook.
you should. Like Nerdville on Facebook, listen to the podcast, etc., etc. No, we have we'll have a bunch of new episodes coming out about GMX. We're hopefully going to get a lot of the audio to get together, sort of interviews with everybody who was there. So hopefully we've got some really cool stuff coming up.
Yeah, if you listen to him on his podcast, he has a much better radio voice than I have. So I mean,
Well, this face. I mean,
the face makes up for my terrible accent.
I happen to like
cool.
the accent.
I guess that's it. It was a good con. It was GMX. GMX is the pinnacle of all other cons. When we rate other cons, we're like, so on a scale of 1 to GMX, how good was that convention?
Unfortunately, there were a few hiccups this year that might have put it down.
But we know to look for the light at
coming.
the end of the tunnel.
We
It's
know
going to be
what's
at the
coming next
Sheraton.
year.
It's going to be beautiful.
It's going to be bigger. It's going to be better. It's going to blow your mind next year. And if you miss it, then you've missed out. I know that's going to be the way it is.
I hope so.
Only 366 days until next year's con.
That was the most depressing countdown timer I ever opened. I went to open the GMX website and I was like, oh, that makes me so sad.
Oh, has Is It GMX yet been updated?
It was.
Was it updated?
But I don't know if it was for the con. I don't know if it's gone back to it.
I don't know if she's gotten to it yet.
Brianna's a wizard. She's probably already got it done.
She's still post-con.
But yes, there are plans for isitgmx.com. So also keep an eye.
It's gonna be good. All right, and they've got the Winter Classic. It's the Winter Classic.
Winter Classic.
I can say it right on accident.
Winter Invitational. I'm like, that can't be right.
Brianna keeps saying Winter Social, and I was like, it's not a cotillion.
That's not correct.
It's a gala.
It's a gala.
The Yule Ball? Is that what it's called?
It's a ball.
We should have a ball. No, man.
I would go to a nerd ball.
I would so.
I'd throw a big ball.
Oh no.
Well, we've got the biggest.
Balls of them all? Yes.
All right, so there's that.
That's
I'm
a great
going
note.
Yamacon.
I'm sorry?
I'm going to Yamacon. I'm not sure who else is going.
I might go.
Jack might go.
I might go.
He might not.
Might not.
I might not take him.
I'm considering
I
going.
wouldn't blame her if she didn't. Somebody tell me about Yamacon. Put it in the comments. I want to see what you love about Yamacon. Why should I come out?
I don't know. It's just funny to not take him. I'm like, I'm going to leave you here.
I'll party by myself at the house.
You can't take him anywhere.
Party with Sonic.
I'll party with Sonic over here. He's my buddy. He still loves me.
Okay, so do you guys feel like you touched on everything you want to talk about GMX?
I think so. Oh, quick shout-outs. Shout out to the Geek Mix for being on top of audio and video in the press room at all times. That was ridiculous. Also, gotta talk about Lady Ash, one of the better cosplays I've seen in a long time. Totally great gender-swapped Evil Dead costume. Freaking awesome.
We're going to do that. Female Hades had the best wig.
That was a really, that was
Yes.
Amazing.
Absolutely. So good.
The Nashville Improv group? Collective?
Yeah, I don't know what they're called. I saw a little bit of their performance, too.
They're so good. They're precious. I love them.
I like that they're rehearsed enough that they click well together without it seeming awkward, but it's still improv.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to put on a show.
Yeah, it was really good. That's all I can really say about that.
I wish we were more like that. It would be awesome.
I wish we were funny. I wish we were
I wish we were
funny, too.
funny.
If we were funny, this would be really fun.
This would be a
Practice.
great show. All right. Okay, so we want to say extra super heartfelt thank yous to GMX staff, volunteers, loss prevention, everybody involved, except for that one lady that yells at me. We don't want to be thankful to her.
There's always that one.
There's always that one lady that yells at me at every convention, and it's the same
You're
lady.
blocking the line. I didn't even know there was a line. There was just 1,000 people.
She may just personally hate me. That may be.
It's because you're pretty.
I was told to make something disappear, which I did, and then she continued to yell at me.
There's just whatever. We should put that in the survey.
Put in the survey. Give it to the mean girl. We don't like her. Nice.
Oh, another issue that I had. when Jack got there to pick up our badges, he was like, the Nashville Geek Girl badges are under Matt Beasley. And I was like, I don't know who that is, but he's definitely not Nashville Geek Girl.
Yeah, kind of curious who Matt Beasley is.
So whoever Matt Beasley is.
You see this? I'd like to get to know you. You must be a cool dude.
Find out why you're affiliated with us. All right. Okay, so yeah, special thank yous to everyone involved in Arts Cubed. GMX, all the volunteers who volunteer so much of their time and put up with so much crap from us. And I want to say thanks to Shaun Andrews. And I want to say thanks to Mac. Go and like them on Facebook and follow him on Twitter because it's hilarious.
Thank you. Yeah, it's difficult to find because it's Rabbit with 2 B's, 2 T's, and 1 E, but Jimmy Rabbit on Twitter. And go like Nerdville, Tennessee on Facebook and listen to us on all your podcasting devices.
Shaun, do you have any plugs?
No, everybody leave me alone. I've been social enough for the last week or so.
I socialed for the whole year.
I'm going into a cave for the rest of the winter. I'll come out eventually with a layer of fat to keep me warm.
You can see more of Shaun's work on NashvilleGeekLife.com.
Yeah, he's one of our most
most active writers on NashvilleGeekLife.com. He does some fantastic movie reviews with the Bell Court.
Yeah.
And occasionally puts out a little something special that's not movie related.
And sometimes he trolls the whole city.
That did happen.
True.
Read Shaun's stuff. It's great.
All right, so that is Pros on Cons. It's finally GMX edition. Like us on Facebook at Nashville Geek Girl and Party Jack.
Party Jack.
Who is new.
Facebook
like
and
him
Twitter.
On Facebook. He needs the likes.
Yeah,
he's
don't
sad
like me.
And
I
new.
don't know why.
So follow us on Facebook at Nashville Geek Girl. Follow us on Twitter at Nashville Geek Girl. I do have the Pros on Cons Twitter, but it's not doing anything right now because Twitter is weird and confusing.
We forget how
check out NashvilleGeekLife.com for all of your Nashville geek needs.
Absolutely.
Something like that.
And Pirate Pub Crawl.
And the Pirate Pub Crawl's coming.
November 15th, I'll be hosting a Pirate Pub Crawl.
Starts at Fleet Street.
Starts at Fleet Street, and we'll end up where I decide to stop. It's a secret.
We'll end up where we're drunk and stumbling and can't go any further.
And I will try to make sure you get home safely. If I
Your home or his.
Could happen. If I need to call you a cab, I will call you a cab, or somebody will call you a cab on my crew. So just know that we're going to look after you, and you can party, you can have fun.
It's a good time.
We're going to have a good time. So find us on Facebook on the event page, Nashville Pirate Pub Crawl.
Yeah, do that and stuff. Click buttons.
Click buttons. Join up.
All right, so that is our GMX review. And I guess the next one's probably going to be the Pirate Pub Crawl.
Yeah, I think that's the closest event.
So if you can't join us, we'll come and tell you how awesome it was, I guess.
I'm going to tell you it's awesome either way. I'm running it.
All right, so that's been Mac, Shaun, Party Jack, myself, and Sonic. And thanks for watching Pros on Cons.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.